Hey everybody, in this tutorial I'm going to give you a quick rundown as to how to use the standard ASD load table. So if you click this link, it'll go ahead and open up in a new window, and it's going to look super intimidating with a ton of numbers that may not make sense yet. So the first thing that you want to know before going into this is make sure that you've determined what the total design load is for both your interior and your exterior beams. So we know that for this, our interior beam has to be able to hold 329 pounds per linear foot, and the exterior beam has to be able to hold 164.5 pounds per linear foot. The other piece of information that's really important is actually looking at which beams that are of interest. So in this video, we're going to be looking at these 16-foot beams. Here's my exterior and here's my interior between 8 and 9. So when we go back to our load table, there are really three things that are going to be of interest to you. The first one is the span, which is in feet. So for this demonstration, we're going to be looking at this row here that have all of the beam loads that are 16 feet. We're also going to be looking at the depth of the beam, which we want to try to have be consistent throughout our entire structural support system. And then we also have the joist designation, which is a type of joist that we're going to be selecting. And this should also be as consistent as possible if we can. So if I'm choosing a beam for my interior between columns 8 and 9, that's 16 feet, on my load table, I'm going to go down to 16. I'm going to look at any of the black numbers that are going to be above 329 pounds per foot. So we know right away that 8K1 isn't going to work. 10K1 also is not going to work because 313 is less than 329. But this 12K1 designation is going to work out just fine because that joist can hold 380 pounds per linear foot. So when we go back to our beam loading activity, we can go ahead and specify that our choice for the interior beam is going to be a 12K1. Now, if I go back here to select my exterior beam, again, we're working with a span of 16 feet, but instead of looking at an allowable load-bearing capacity of 329 pounds per foot, we're looking at a load-bearing capacity of 164.5 pounds per linear foot. So right away, we notice that an 8K1 can actually support this load. But remember when I was talking about a few minutes ago, we also want to look at the depth of the beam. When you're working on a site with a ton of different materials, we want to try to make it as easy as possible for the construction of this building to go as fast as it can. So my 8K1 designation has a depth of 8 inches. So if we want to try to find a joist that actually has the same depth as my interior beam, we might consider also using a 12K1 for that exterior beam as well. As we can see here, that 380 is well beyond the load-bearing limit, and it could be an appropriate designation. So in this chart, I'll go ahead and record 8K1 as an option, but the preferred option here is going to be 12K1. Hopefully that helps. Please let me know if you have any questions.